It's not all doom and gloom, as I may have made it seem. I know it looks quite overwhelming when we look back at what we've discussed. So the scope, the extraterritorial effect, the deadlines, the repercussions, the very limited exemptions. But the final piece of the puzzle is actually what you need to do to comply. So you might be panicking, thinking, "Oh my God, we have to comply with these rules," but you need to know what those rules are. Um, those with a US or otherwise global presence who've joined us today might be in for a bit of a surprise. We are very regularly seeing clients discovering that actually they're doing a lot more than they realized in the digital accessibility space, particularly due to the regulatory landscape in the US. And that means actually they're already on their way to compliance with the EAA without actually realizing it. So in the last, I would say, year, we've definitely had circumstances where clients who may be leading EAA compliance instructions or the mandate is coming out of the EU, we're recommending to them speak to your US counterparts, speak to your colleagues in legal in the US. And we're finding that on, majority of occasions, there is this synchronization where actually a lot of work has already been done to comply with some of the standards that we're expecting to see under the EAA. Again, Michaela is going to talk about this shortly, but we are seeing that a lot of our clients with a global presence, their dev teams, their engineers are aware of these standards and have actually already baked them into a lot of their products. Again, because of this risk of class actions, of private actions in the US. And I should say that even though in the context of comparing the EAA with the ADA, so that's the Americans with Disabilities Act, they're obviously different things. They're different legislation, and they impose different obligations. So the EAA, for example, there's regulatory requirements imposed that the ADA doesn't impose. So things like transparency statements and accessibility statements, and certain prescribed accessibility requirements for particular services like passenger transport or ticketing machines or financial services. But there is an overlap, and similar but not identical efforts are required on both sides to achieve compliance in terms of the technical requirements. So I'm now going to pass over to Michaela just to talk a bit more about what those technical requirements look like and what we can see coming out of the US and how it compares with the EAA.